Good morning, Super Readers! Thank you for joining us in our Valley PBS classroom. I'm Mrs. Nix.
I'm Mrs. Hammock.
And I'm Mrs. Bang.
This is a place for us to learn, practice, and
grow our brains
to become even stronger readers, writers, and thinkers. So let's get started by warming up our brains with some
ear training
called Daily Phonemic Awareness. Okay, so today, Super Readers, we're going to go through and I'm going to challenge you just a little bit. So you're going to have to really turn up those ears today and listen, because we're not only going to do a little substitution at the beginning of a word, but we're also going to do a little substituting at the end.
Ooh, that's
All right.
really tricky.
To warm up, let's start with that initial substitution. So I'm going to give you a word, and then we're going to change that first sound to make a new word. It's kind of like a game. All right, here we go. We're going to start with the word noun. So say the word noun. What sounds do we hear? N, ow, n. Noun. Okay, what if I change the beginning n to t? Own.
Town.
Great job. All right, let's try it again. How about if I start with the word south? South. What sounds do we hear? Ow. South. Okay, change the s to m. Now what's our word? Mouth.
Mouth.
Mouth. Great. See how easy that was? Okay, here comes the challenge. Let's change the final or the ending sounds of some words. So I'm going to start with an easier one.
Okay.
Owl. What sounds do we hear? Ow.
Owl.
Owl. Change the to t. Out.
Out.
Out. Okay, nicely done. I'm going to do another one for you. How about cloud? What sounds do we hear? Oud. Cloud. Change the d to n. Clown.
Oh, clown.
Nice. All right, one more of those just to make sure that you are getting that one, because it can be a little tricky.
It was tricky.
How about crowd? What sounds do we hear? Oud. Crowd. Change the d to n. Crown. Crown. Excellent job.
Yoo-hoo.
Great job, Super Readers. All right, so with all of that thinking, I can already tell, I think we need to get some wiggles out.
I agree.
All right, let's be like a volcano. What do you think?
I say yes.
Let's do it.
Good. We're going to have to keep hold of that one.
I think so. It's a good one.
Okay, I think everybody's ready to learn.
All right, we'll see you later.
Okay, Super Readers, you guys are ready to learn. You guys all got the wiggles out. Wasn't that a great dance? Okay, now remember, all week we have been reviewing our past sounds that we have already learned. Today, we are going to be reviewing the cow card. Now, the cow card makes the ow sound. What sound? Ow. Good. And if you look at my cow card, there are two different ways that I can write that ow sound. The first way is O-W. So O-W says ow. The second way is with O-U. O-U can also say ow. Now, let's practice reading and blending, or blending and reading and building and writing words with that ow sound. Should we get our friends to come help us? I think so. Help me say it. Say, friends.
Good morning, Mrs.
Here they are. Are you guys ready to help us review some words with that ow sound?
Oh, yes. I'm ready. Let's do it.
Are you guys okay? I think everybody's ready. Help me blend these words. Ready? The first one says,
House. House. House.
good job. That says house. Don't forget that E is a quiet E. It doesn't make a sound. House. Good job. Okay, let's keep going.
Down. Down.
Down. Good. Down. Like they walked down the stairs. Okay, how about this word?
Count. Count.
Good job.
I like to count.
Oh, I bet you're really good at it, Rita. Count. Good job. Okay, last word. This says
Out. Shout. Hey, I see the word out in shout.
good thinking. There's out in shout. Good job. And I love how Tina saw the SH and she already started with her sound. Good.
She's a good reader.
Reading. Well, you are too, Rita. You guys are becoming such good readers. Now,
Practice.
you guys are practicing. But how about we build a word?
Oh, let's
Are you
do it.
ready?
Yeah, that's fun.
Okay, so here's a word that I see a lot of my first graders and my second graders and a lot of my friends that I love to write. The word is now. Can you guys help me write the word now?
Okay.
Yeah.
In.
Good.
Yep.
Oh.
Ow, ow. How do I spell that ow sound?
It's at the end, so. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's with
you guys
a W.
remember?
I think it has to be the O-W.
I think
Because I don't know
so,
any words
too.
that end with O-U.
That's right. Ow. Now. Good
Yeah, that
job.
looks right. Mhm.
Good job. Oh, you guys are doing such an amazing job. But I'm going to have my super readers read the sentence with me, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Keep practicing. Okay, super readers. I want you guys to help me read this sentence. Now remember, as you're reading, I want you guys to think, how many words in the sentence has that ow sound? Can you guys find how many? Okay, are you guys ready? Help me read. This says, how loud is the sound of the crowd? How did you do? Good job reading that. Question. You're right. There's a question mark, so it's a question. Did you read all those words with that ow sound? Oh, I see lots of thumbs up. Good job. Let's continue reading with practicing our high frequency words with Mrs. Hammock.
Okay, super readers, let's take a look at our review high frequency words. Are you ready to read them with me? Okay, here we go. Thought, right, through, new, above, and sure. All right, today we're going to focus on this word sure. Now this is a true high frequency word because you've just got to remember what it looks like and stick that in your visual memory. And you can do that in a lot of ways. We've practiced a lot of different ways, but let's spell it. And if you have something to write with, you can do that too. S-U-R-E, sure. I know, I hear that sh sound too, and we have to be really careful not to get tricked. Remember, this is one of those words we just have to know and memorize what it looks like because it does not sound the same way that the letters are. Okay, let's take a look at our sentence. He sure is a kind friend. I bet you have some kind friends. I know I do. Today, we are going to hear a story called Grace for President. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be president? Well, let's find out about Grace and how could a little girl be president? Let's read this story and find out.
Realistic Fiction, Grace for President by Kelly DiPuccio, illustrated by Leyland Pham. Essential question: what do good citizens do? Read about a class that learns about voting and elections. One Monday morning in September, Mrs. Barrington rolled out a big poster with all of the president's pictures on it. Grace Campbell could not believe her eyes. Where are all the girls? That's a very good question, said Mrs. Barrington. The truth is, our country has never had a woman president. No girl president ever? Grace asked. No, I'm afraid not, said Mrs. Barrington. Grace sat at her desk and stewed. No girls? Who'd ever heard of such a crazy thing? Finally, she raised her hand. Yes, Grace, I've been thinking it over, and I'd like to be president. Several students in the class laughed. Well, I think that's a star-spangled idea, Grace, said Mrs. Barrington. In fact, we can have our own election right here at Woodrow Wilson Elementary. The snickering in the room stopped. Grace smiled. Would anyone else like to run for president? Mrs. Barrington asked the class. Nobody raised their hand. Becoming president was going to be easy, Grace thought. The next day, Mrs. Barrington made an announcement. In the name of democracy, I have invited Mr. Waller's class to join our election. Their class has nominated Thomas Cobb to be their presidential candidate. Grace's heart sank. Thomas was the school spelling bee champion. His experiments always took a blue ribbon at the science fair, and he was captain of the soccer team. Becoming president wasn't going to be so easy after all, Grace thought. The teachers put the names of all 50 states and the District of Columbia into a hat. Everyone except for Grace and Thomas got to choose a state. I'm Texas, said Anthony. I'm New Hampshire, said Rose. I'm Michigan, said Robbie. What does the number 17 mean? Each state is assigned a number of electoral votes. That number is determined by how many people live in that state, said Mrs. Barrington. Each of you will be a representative for your state. Altogether, our country has 538 electoral votes, Mr. Waller explained. On election day, the candidate who receives 270 electoral votes or more wins the election. Why 270? Asked Rose. That's more than half of all the electoral votes, Mr. Waller said. Becoming president really wasn't going to be so easy, Grace thought. Grace came up with a campaign slogan. Make history! Vote Grace Campbell for president! Thomas came up with his own campaign slogan. Vote for Thomas Cobb, the best man for the job. Grace listened to what issues were important to the students, and she made a list of campaign promises. A peaceful school, no bullies. A cleaner school, no littering. Better hot lunches, no more fish stick tacos. Thomas made up his own list of promises. Free tutoring, free soccer lessons, fish stick tacos every week. Grace for president, Thomas for president. Grace made campaign posters and buttons. Thomas made posters and buttons too. Each week, the teachers set aside time for the candidates to meet with their constituents. Polls were taken. Voters were making their choices. Grace continued to campaign. At recess, she gave speeches. During lunch, she handed out free cupcakes. After school, she held rallies. Summarize. How did Grace campaign to be president? Summarize what she did. Meanwhile, Thomas wasn't worried. He had cleverly calculated that the boys held slightly more electoral votes than the girls. At recess, Thomas studied his spelling words. During lunch, he worked on his latest science experiment. After school, he played soccer. Even before the election, Grace made good on her promises. She joined the safety squad, she organized a school beautification committee, and she volunteered her time in the school cafeteria. In early November, Woodrow Wilson Elementary hosted a special Election Day assembly. Grace and Thomas took their places on stage as the school band began to play. Henry was the first representative to approach the microphone. The Yellowhammer State of Alabama cast its 9 electoral votes for Thomas Cobb. Fletcher said, the last frontier state of Alaska casts its 3 electoral votes for the best man for the job, Thomas Cobb. Hannah called out, the Grand Canyon state of Arizona casts 10 electoral votes for Grace Campbell. And so it went. State after state after state cast their electoral votes. The scoreboard in the gymnasium kept track of the totals. The voting demonstration was quickly coming to an end. Clara approached the podium. The Badger State of Wisconsin cast its 10 votes for my best friend Grace Campbell. Grace looked at the scoreboard. Thomas had 268 electoral votes. She had 267. There was only one state still accounted for, Wyoming. Thomas grinned. Grace felt sick. Sam walked up to the microphone. He looked at Thomas. He looked at Grace. He looked down at Grace's handmade flag. Sam didn't say a word. What are you waiting for? Thomas whispered. The band stopped playing. All eyes were on Wyoming. Finally, Sam cleared his voice. The equality state of Wyoming casts its 3 electoral votes for Grace Campbell. The gymnasium erupted in loud cheers and a few boos. Mrs. Barrington approached the podium. With 270 electoral votes, the winner is Grace Campbell. Thomas looked stunned. Grace hugged Sam. Why did you do it? She asked. Sam handed Grace his flag. Because, he said, I thought you were the best person for the job. Visualize. What happens in the gym after Grace's name is called? Use the visualize strategy to help you. The following week, the students in Mrs. Barrington's class were preparing for their career day presentations. Grace volunteered to go first. She stood at the front of the room and glanced at the poster still hanging on the wall. My name is Grace Campbell, and when I grow up, I'm going to be the President of the United States. This time, everyone believed that she would.
Wasn't that a great story? So cool, right? So this week we've been talking a lot about what does an author do in a story that can give us some clues. Sometimes we can look at the illustrations, sometimes it's the words, and there were a lot of clues that told us a lot of things about this story. And so today I have one page that in particular that we're going to go back and we're going to look at and we're going to try and find some of those clues. Okay, so here's our question. Our question is, why does the author end the page with only one state's votes unaccounted for? That means there's only one state that was left. Why do you think an author would leave a cliffhanger at the end of the page? Okay, so here was our page, and it talked about all these different states and who they would vote for. Now down here, we're going to think to ourselves, what do we think? Why would you end with Wyoming? Well, I've come up with a few ideas right here. One of them might just be to build suspense, because now you're thinking, Well, I'm kind of vested. Who wins? It's tied, right? So authors will often stop right at the end of the page. They've not said who Wyoming has voted for. And so now you have a little suspense, right? What might be another reason? Well, it could be to show that Wyoming's vote is important. Sometimes people too can think, it doesn't really matter if I vote or not. Well, the author is giving us a clue that every vote counts. We're all important, even places like Wyoming. All right, and last, we could also have, maybe it's just to introduce the next page. It definitely makes me want to turn the page to see what's going to happen. It goes right along with our suspense, right? So the author ends the page this way to keep me interested and make me want to continue reading. You know, if stories aren't interesting, it does make it hard sometimes to turn the page. But it's always exciting when you get to the end and you want to find out what's going to happen next. So these are some of the things and clues that authors can give us when they want to get us to keep reading. Now, we're going to switch over and we're going to talk a little bit about today's writing. And our writing actually has to do with what we were working on with Grace for President. I really want to just ask you the question, who would you vote for? Would you vote for Grace or would you vote for Thomas? And then why? Because everybody has a different opinion as to why, right? There's not really a wrong or a right answer. It's just sometimes just a feeling. All right, to help us do a little bit of brainstorming around this, let's invite our friends to come and chat with us. So, hey friends, you guys want to come and help?
Sure.
Hi, Mrs. Nix.
Hello, Ricky. So, Ricky, I have to ask, who would you vote for? Would you want to vote for Grace or would you want to vote for Thomas? What do you think?
I thought about it and I love to retell the story. Can I retell the story?
I know you want to retell the story, Ricky, but we're not going to retell the whole story. Our super readers don't need to hear the whole thing, but maybe one or two ideas as to who you would vote for and why?
Okay. Because is this like an opinion writing? Because you want my vote?
I do. I would want to know your vote. So it's a little bit like an opinion, right? You could use some evidence to back up your opinion, though. That's a smart move.
Okay, what if I said I would vote for Thomas because he's a boy like me?
Okay, could you say that? You sure could. That's absolutely a reason.
But is there
That's
evidence?
not a very good reason to vote for somebody.
No?
Okay. How about because he promised free tutoring and soccer lessons?
Now, did he say those things in the story? He sure did, right? He said he promised free tutoring and soccer lessons. So that might be why someone might want to vote for Thomas, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not me, though.
Okay, Rita, why not?
No, but I would vote for Grace, but not just because she's a girl. I'd vote for her because she's a good listener. She listened to her classmates and she listened to find out what they wanted, and that's important.
That's right, especially as a leader, you want someone who's going to listen to all the people, and that's exactly what she did. So you would vote for Grace because she listened to her classmates to find out what they wanted. So I want to say thank you guys so much for helping us with that. And now we've got a video we want to show you. We'll see you in a second.
Hey, I didn't see you there. I was just about to read Just Me in the Tub by Gina and Mercy Mayer to my bearded dragon, Lizzie. There's a lot of books in the series of Little Critter. Find out what he does to clean up the bathroom. She likes the book most because she always takes baths, and that's how she hydrates. Thanks for watching Valley PBS.
Thanks, Cooper. Wow.
That was great. I'm gonna have to check out that book.
I know, I do too. So many books I need to read.
Hey, I got a knock-knock job for ya.
Okay.
Knock-knock.
Who's there?
Swarm.
Swarm who?
A swarm outside.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
It kind of is warm outside, Rinky. You're so silly. Hey, thanks for watching Valley PBS today. We look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow.
That's right.
Take care.
Bye.